the I'm a Fan Of podcast, music, comedy, and more.
Mikey B, welcome back, man.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me as I'm opening a drink and seeming
Absolutely.
like I'm too cool to pay attention.
No, not at all.
See, already tugging on wires.
That's all good, man. Tug whatever you need. Well, don't tug whatever you need to. Anyway.
Wiener's out of the bag, dude. It's too late.
No, so you were just being very generous. One of the reasons, other than just catching up, is you're going to be releasing a special here soon, right?
Yes.
And,
I haven't announced the date yet, but I can do it now if
I'm all game.
Well, my plan is to have the first special of the new year, January 1st, New Year's Day.
Okay.
You're hungover. Most people are off work. Not everybody, obviously. The world has to spin, but I feel like that's a good day. It's just about ready to go, and I'm excited. We filmed this thing back in May, and I'm ready to put it out. I'm ready to either hurry up and succeed or hurry up and fail. Let's go.
Well, I remember you posting that you had recorded it.
Yeah.
And I was real psyched about that. And I think I saw a couple pictures of just kind of some of the light design and everything that you had.
Yeah.
And it's exciting, man.
Dude, I've never been proud of anything I've ever done, like in the world, in my life. This is the one thing, especially in comedy, that I've had to watch it 6 times, so I'm starting to hate it for editing.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
But I know that it's good.
What were you were talking to me because you were going to say like, hey, I want to share this clip, and I was telling you, no, I want to watch it the same way everybody else does.
Okay.
I like
hurts my feelings a little bit.
No, but
I'm trying to give you a sneak peek.
You know what? No, I really appreciate it. And like what happens on this show too is musicians will be really kind, and they'll be like, can I send you the digital album in advance? Considering for like writing a review or coming on the podcast. And I'm very thankful that anybody wants to show me anything. But I like when it is released and I just experience it.
The experience.
Yeah,
right? Okay.
I want to watch
fair.
it front because what I'm going to do is sit down with my wife and we're going to watch it front to back, uninterrupted, whole
Put your
thing.
kids in a room.
Yeah, well, of course, yeah. Because I want to experience. Clips are great when you're promoting, right? I love it, and like I said, we'll share a clip on social media for whoever else. But I want to watch the full thing.
Yeah,
one setting. I don't need to get. I already know you're funny. I don't even need to get hyped about it.
I thank you. I appreciate
you know what I mean?
That. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really excited to see it, man. How
so
did y'all
excited.
settle? Are you finished editing right now? Are you still final touches?
Texting him on the way here. A couple little final touches.
Yeah.
He sent me the latest or last version. I just need to go through it and make sure and give my final let's do it.
Yeah.
And I think he's just putting together an outro because we're not really instead of doing an intro, like a lot of people will have a camera follow them up to the stage or them arriving to the venue. Instead of all that, I'm not doing any of that. It's going to start right on a joke that I cut out of the special, but it starts right on a good joke, a good dirty joke. Just kind of set it up for what you're walking into.
Yeah.
And after that joke, it gets a few big pops. Not to toot my own horn here. Or
toot it, man. It's hard work getting this shit done.
Tug my own sack here. But then that joke, it obviously dies down, and then the title card will come on, Mikey B, Honorable Scumbag, and then the special starts. And that joke won't reappear again, which was kind of hard to pick one that doesn't mess up the flow, because I tried to put this in, I tried to be a professional. I don't know what I'm doing here. Nobody asked for this, but I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And so I think I picked a good one. I think it sets the tone perfectly for what I do and who I am. And that's it. We're going. There's an outro. But
I love it. Well, I've had conversations on this show with other comics who are not as seasoned as you, who are 2-3 years in. Like they're still figuring out their version of being funny. Like they're getting on stage, they're putting in their reps. But
I think at that stage too, and sorry to cut you off, but because I remember that, and I remember wanting so much more, and still do. I'm the one thing I'm passionate and motivated for is comedy. It's what I want for my life. But I remember at that stage, 2-3 years in, you're just figuring out how to get laughs. And they say everybody says is you got to be yourself on stage, which sounds easy. It's just being yourself, but it's the hardest thing to translate because before you can do that, you got to figure out how to get laughs. I think it's hard to unless you're just naturally with the cadence.
Well, and do you even know what yourself is?
Exactly.
Are you a person who's actually able to look at yourself and go, "This is me," or you do need to break down that facade that you've had for however many years? Well, I was talking to them about how, they're 2 to 3 years in. I think this comedy scene is a great scene and it's prime for so much more. And I personally, I could be wrong. I could be watching this years from now going, he didn't know what he's talking about. But I think there's guys like yourself. How long have you been in this now?
It'll be I'm 9.5. It'll be 10 years in about 4 months. Or so.
I was saying I think there are so many people who are at that 10-year mark where they have put in the time, where they know how to be funny, and I feel like at 10 years, and I'm saying this as a fan, when you see these people who are overnight successes at the 20-year mark of their career, and you realize years 10 through 20, years 1 through 10, it seems like they figured out who they were, how to be funny. Like you said, they put all that time in to figure out, this is me, I know how to be funny now. And then it seems like 10 through 20, now they've mastered it. Now they're just going, okay, how much funny stuff do I want to do? Well, I just need to write, work, keep going. And then it's just a matter of time of putting in that effort before it pops off the way you want to.
Yeah.
And so I was saying, I think one of the catalysts for y'all at that mark is to start recording and putting things out, kind of backing yourself in that corner of like, all right, we burned it, time to write the next thing.
Yes.
And proving to yourself that, you guys you already know you're funny. I think there's a lot of guys a lot of people in our scene who are right at your level where it's 10 plus years, 15 years, where I don't know if they realize that they're capable of writing like 45 minutes to an hour a year now.
I mean, that's
I think
job.
they're capable of it.
Yeah.
And I think if they started releasing things and saying, okay, I've got to write new material now, they'd see like, holy shit, I'm a lot better than I realized I was. I just need to do it.
Yeah.
So I love that you're doing it.
But you also have like something I realized, I have a back catalog of stuff that wasn't working or just was okay before. You can revisit that on top of writing new. And I think you're right. The job is, if this is what you want to do, and just in my mind, nobody can give you a blueprint, say this is how it works or this, because there's no clear path that works for everybody or a bag of tools that everybody does it this way. But the job is writing jokes. The job is writing. The job is doing new material. I mean, we've all seen those comics that'll do specials with the same jokes on it, or they live on that same act. If you've done this for as long as I have, chances are you've worked plenty of clubs, and not just like improvs, Laugh Factory, Zanies. I'm talking about like B rooms and C rooms and like loony bins and stuff like that, where you'll come across a headliner who's had a comedy special blend special in 2007, and they're still doing that act, and I won't call out names, but if I was drunk, I would. But it's cautionary tale. The job is to write jokes. All right, you did those jokes, push yourself. And that's why I started releasing a little bit of material here and there. And some of the material I already have on my social media, I'm going to clean up because it is on the special. But the special is like the ultimate version of that. Like all these jokes. Exactly. This is the diamond with all the dirt cut off and cut pretty and made the way it's supposed to look on your ring now.
This gets me hyped. It gets me hyped up, man.
I'm so hyped
because
for this.
I think there's so many comics just like you right here. Not only should they, but like they deserve to do it. It's like don't let this great material just like some material is very good for this 5-6 years and then it starts feeling a little dated. It's like don't let it slowly die out that way. Like put it on something. Give it its due.
We're like miners. We need to get everything out of it that it's intended for and don't let it go to waste. Use everything you have. And again, there's no solid blueprint. I don't know how this works. I just stuttered on a podcast. So, I mean, who knows? It could work different from everybody, but I think the game has changed since I've started comedy. And before I move, I just want to say, you're right. I think the Dallas scene is a great scene. I think I tell other people in other scenes, because, I mean, I travel a lot and do a lot of different comedy scenes, but we breed killers here in Dallas. We really do, and that's because our crowds are a little tougher. They don't just give it up. Like I'll go to Denver and I'll work with, or I'll do shows there, and you can get laughs on a half-done premise or something that's not. They're more supportive of the arts and live performances.
Right.
Where in Dallas, they're one of the most honest crowds ever. But they'll look at you and be like, And you're like, oh,
make me laugh.
Yeah, exactly. literally arms crossed, like next. And I'll those are the people I look at while I'm on stage. I'm like, I'm going to crack this motherfucker because that's my job. But yeah, I think this scene does breed killers, but that is the job. Write material, push yourself. My point and just in my mind and my belief is that, the only one belief I have is that as humans, I think our job and mission here is to keep evolving. Like I want to be, like I know I'm really funny now. I know I'm very funny. I've worked very hard and I'll continue to do that. But in 10 more years, I should be even more funny. I should keep evolving and keep trying to be the best version of myself I can be.
Yeah. Well, I think this is the step to that, right? Because like
push.
you said, you've seen the edit multiple times now, and my only real, I've done a lot of video and stuff for like musicians in the past, but the only real comedy thing I did was with Lawrence Rosales, and it was so eye opening for both of us. I remember him having discussions about. He was happy with the final result, but he was already going like, okay, I see things I need to change about my performance now. Like
I've written new tags for jokes that are on the special. I've heard so many bigger comics say that.
Body language and phrasing and just cadence, where he hasn't seen that full, 45 minutes, hour of himself before that way. And I think that's just part of the step for you guys to grow now. It's just one more. Okay, we did that. Now we know how to do that. Did you do one night, one take?
One shot, baby. Ooh. That's all I had was one shot. I was out there dangling in the wind.
What was your experience? Because as the person producing one for someone else, I was pretty terrified. I know Lawrence is a good comic, but I was terrified that
it's live
you could have an off night. We could have a shithead in the crowd.
Exactly. You don't know what can happen. Yeah. And there's stuff like that on my special. Yeah. Like, I'm pretty sure it was my cousin that was there, but there's one person that when they liked something while people were laughing, they'd yell at it, yeah. Now I'm like, is the fucking Little John here? What? And I cut any crowd work out of the special just because I wanted to show.
You want to be your material.
I want to be a comedian. There's a little crowd interaction, and there was crowd work during the show. But yeah, you don't know. You have one shot. It was terrifying.
So what was your mindset? First of all, what was your mindset leading up to? Like, how did you personally prepare for this?
I think everything for me was perfect the way it worked out to where I had work every weekend, like full, like Thursday through Saturday at least. And a lot of weeks it was like I'm doing a Wednesday show, a Tuesday show, I'm doing a spot Monday, I'm doing 2 Thursday. I got to go here and there. So it worked out perfect to where I was like so in the rhythm to where like I had a weekend right before my special, and I filmed on a Sunday, and I even got another club, TKs, to give me spots Thursday through Saturday night so that I could roll into Sunday like I'm hot, baby, I'm ready to go. And I did a club the weekend before, and I think I did another show that Wednesday in between. So
would you approach it like I'm going to work on this 10-minute chunk, or were you trying to do the whole thing each time?
Depending, I had like certain jokes, like I need to fix this, or I need to finish this one. There's a joke that I cut out, I didn't get to do as many times that I was going to do at the end, but the joke I end up closing with on the special went so well that there's a moment I can see at the end when I've watched this thing so many times that like when I do my last joke and I stand there for a second, I can watch, just because I know what I'm looking at, I watch myself decide like next story's not going to top this, just cut it.
Yeah.
So I cut it, and I think it was the best decision for the special I did because I got my first standing ovation.
Oh, congratulations.
Big, huge pop, great joke. And the next joke, I have that for the next special. My mindset was a little different. A lot of comics, in my experience, when they do their first special, especially when they're like at my level where they're trying to cross into headlining more consistently, is when they do their first one, they just dump all the old material that they want to retire and move on from. There's some of that on mine, but it's just because it worked for, I tried to write this as a piece, like a cohesive
I love hearing that.
And so I in my mind, I was like, fuck that. This is my shot, right? Like I have I don't want to do the special that's a little lackluster like everything else I've ever done. I want to put all my fire and best jokes. And there's jokes on the special I wrote the week of the special, but I did it a few times. It went well. I was like, I'll do it on the show, and if it doesn't work out, we'll cut it out.
Right.
It's fine. I'm going to do an hour. We'll cut out if it doesn't work, and nothing got cut out.
That's
it all
awesome.
Worked. It all went the way I wanted it to. For the most part, there's things here and there, the guy yelling and some stuff like that, and some drunk people yelling stuff out about a joke that was 3 jokes ago. And I cut that out too. And but I mean, it came out. I'm the luckiest man because I had one shot. Very nerve wracking.
Yeah. What was the day of like? Because it's one thing. It's one thing to prepare, but when you show up, you hired people to record this and edit this. There's cameras in the crowd. Now it's real.
And we had a packed house, and I was like, I have to give them the show. Whether I'm recording or not, this is still my job. So I got in the mindset of, and I reminded myself a million times, even day of the show, do what you normally do. Just show them what you do. Don't go up there and try to make it something you're not or anything like that. I just reminded myself over and over, just like every other show. Show them why you deserve to be doing the long set.
Now, it's one thing to say that, though. When you hit the stage, were you able to actually feel that way? Were you able to feel like it's just another show? Or was it still, do you still feel a little, up another
back
notch?
And forth. Yeah. It was up a notch. But
because it's one thing to like give yourself that pep talk.
Yeah.
You're like, it's just another show, man. But the moment you hit those stairs, you get up there.
That's the worry. But I mean, it was people that came to see me. I brought out 100. I think they said 160, between 160 and 180 at the Addison Improv on Cinco de Mayo. They called the show Cinco de Mikey on the website. Which brilliant, their idea, not mine. But I was just hoping I'd get maybe 100, and to have that many. I mean, I broke curtain.
Yeah,
it was great. And when I hit those stairs, I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, here we go, motherfucker. Are you going to fail or are you going to succeed? What are you going to do here?
That's awesome.
And I'm always nervous, even for an open mic, until I get that first laugh.
Yeah.
And I went up and I did do something I didn't do on the other shows. I don't want to tell you because then you won't experience the same way.
Yeah.
But I did just throw a throwaway joke real quick just to mess with the crowd a little bit, and it hit real big. And I was like, it's gonna be fine. And I kind of settled down, and I'm still nervous because you don't know. And what got cut out of the special the most was me drinking water, like so many water.
Sure.
I did all my rituals. I got really high about 30 minutes before I was going on stage because that's what I do. I'm
so
like,
you normally get real high before you perform?
Yeah, I don't drink before I go up. I don't drink till after. I don't really like to. If somebody sends me a shot or something, I mean, I'll take. I mean, come on.
What do you think it is about getting a little high before you get up there? Does it just calm, or is it like a memory thing, or?
It's just kind of my thing, man. It's for the longest time I had a problem with speaking too fast, and like it was something I worked on for years. And it took me years to get where I can not just rattle off and like do my timing better. And I feel like it helps me not get too excited to just start when it's going bad or when it's going good.
Do you do the same things for, like open mics, or is that a different ritual?
I mean, I just get high all the time.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, when you said it like ritual,
when I do a show, like that's usually my thing. Like if I'm doing shows in town, like on the drive to the show, I try to plan it out to where I stop smoking like 30 minutes before the show.
Okay.
Showtime, showish time, something like that. I mean, I don't get like completely ripped, but sometimes I get completely ripped. But I just wanted to treat it like every other show. I knew it wasn't, and
I mean,
was
it's
in my
smart
mind,
though.
But I was like, show them what you do. What you do has been feeling great, and I've gotten so many good reviews, and all the follows I've gotten were like me talking to people that actually liked me at the show and came up and bought merch and scanned my QR code or came and talked to me. So I was like, do the thing that all those people loved. Do that thing that they all liked, and just do it the way you want. Have some try to remember to have fun, which sounds fun and easy. It's not.
Yeah.
Because, the human brain will you'll psych yourself out. Yeah.
Yeah, because you're going to be, this is the moment. Don't fuck it up.
Yeah.
Don't mess it up at all,
But
man.
that's what I'm used to because I'm in here. I'm so negative, and my tradition when I go, like when I'm doing an actual show, is I make at least one person tell me I suck. And if they've never done it before, a lot of people are like, no, dude, I can't. You're great. I'm like, no, just say you suck. It's just my thing. It's
that's
my
your break a leg.
Like, yeah, you suck. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'd rather that than someone be like, oh, you got this. You're so good.
Yeah.
It feels like gay.
I've
Stop.
never responded well to positive reinforcement like that. Like I'm glad it works for people, but when I see, like improv troops where they're all like, great job, you guys were all awesome. I'm thinking, ugh.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that they love it, but it's never been me. I'm like you. I prefer that person who's just like, if I was a comic, I'd like the person to be like, oh, so they booked you on this, huh?
Yeah.
Like, the fuck does that mean?
I had somebody once come up to me right before a show, another comic I was hosting. He was the feature. This is years ago. And he came up to me, and they're like, hey, welcome to the stage, your host of the evening. And I'm walking up, and he goes, hey, don't say the N-word. And I go on stage, and it's just in my mind, and the whole front of the stage is all black people, all tables, and I'm like, you son of a bitch, dude. Like, I didn't say, obviously, I didn't say it.
Right.
But I was like, yeah, that was good. You got me.
Yeah, it's in your mind the whole time.
But what you say about improv troops, I was in Durango, Colorado. It was a great little town. They have a cool little comedy scene up in the mountains. Cool place. And I used to go there every year. And I remember I like to show up in places like that, like a day early and do an open mic or something. Get the vibe of the place.
Yeah.
And before the open mic, all the comics kind of came together and like held hands. They didn't pray, but there was like a cheer meeting. They like
interesting
named off the list each person, and they all clapped. Oh yeah, and it's an open mic. And I'm like, what are you earth homos doing? You're going to kiss a tree now? Like, stop.
It's like, it's great that you have this supportive community who wants people to do well, but man, I don't like that.
Yeah.
I would be rolling my eyes the whole time.
I was visibly upset. My friend that went with me, he was looking at me, he's like, dude, stop your face. I was like, I'm sorry, I can't.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
I know, you're just like, so lame. Yeah. It's lame, but good for you.
I mean, if it works for somebody,
you're not hurting anybody, do your thing.
Just like people that drink when they go on stage or before, I don't knock that either. I used to, and that's just not my thing. If it works for you, hey, great. We don't all have to do the same thing the same way.
Yeah. It's it's interesting, man. I've learned a lot just by watching all these different things and talking to all these people, and everybody's got kind of a different version of what they think is going to set off a good show for them. So I love hearing their own versions. It's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, we don't. There's not a blueprint you could ever read that'll show you exactly how to do this because it's not like that.
Right.
Yeah, everybody's got a different path, a different timeline. That's why you don't try not to compare yourself to other comics. You're like, oh, he got this. Why? I'm better than him. Well, he got it because you got it. That's his time to get it. It's not your time yet, or your time's coming. Or you fucked it up, and now you got to work and start over again and get it next time.
There are a few of those where they're having that conversation with you, just casually at a bar about, when's my moment? And you don't have the heart to tell them, like, well, the reputation I hear is you're difficult to work with, and people don't really, it's like,
2 years ago.
Oh, that was you?
No, I'm just saying.
I thought you meant that was you 2 years ago.
No. Well, it was. Trust me, I've burned a lot of bridges, but.
Well, I don't know. It's interesting. I still have a lot to learn about it, so I don't want to pretend to know. But it's been a good education, not
just so
performing, but just observing. You know.
Well, I'll tell you this: nobody knows what's going on here.
What do you mean?
Nobody. One day, I think every comic will, like, when you stay in it long enough and like you're really serious about it, you realize nobody knows what they're doing.
Oh yeah.
And the world in general, not just comedy. Everybody out here is just faking it. Everybody's fake it till you make it. I mean, you'll figure it out, but nobody starts out knowing it.
Anytime I work on a project with a band or a comic or something, that's kind of the little talk I have with them of, it's, I mean, even with your thing, it's clearly the plan with this, in addition to recording it, is you want to use this as something to showcase what you're capable of and get you to that next tier of comedy that you're aiming for. And that's what you should be doing, right?
I think the main goal, and sorry to cut you off, but I just don't want to lose the train of thought. I think the main goal is, yes, that, but like the main, like if you had to put a plan on paper, is to clip it up, use this to get more followers, to show that I can sell seats, start getting like Tuesday night at improv, Wednesday night at this club,
selling your own tickets,
selling one-nighters, and just showing like, hey, I can bring people. And it's just, I don't think this is gonna like blow me up, and I'm headlining improvs all over the country.
It may, but it may not.
It's that first step to getting closer to that. But you're right, it might. I mean,
what I tell them is
the delusion I have to keep alive.
But to your point of not there's no blueprint, right?
Yeah.
I mean, one of the things is, I tell them, look, I don't know if this is gonna. We don't know what's going to go viral, right? That whole idea of viral is it's random. You can't go, we're going to make this go viral. It doesn't really work that way.
Unless you already have 1 million followers.
But even then,
really,
how many super famous people have started podcasts and it really doesn't work out?
Yeah.
And so like the pep talk I had with Lawrence and some of the musicians I work with is like, let's just make it so that you're 100% happy with it. That way, if it fails, if nothing happens, you're at least proud of it. Let's not think of what do other people like, how should it look if we're going to try to blah, 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 blah. Just make what you're super proud of.
What feels, for me,
because you can't control it.
Exactly. I wanted to do what feels the best, what's truest to form of what I am and who I am and how I do things. And I just want to be proud of it and to know at the end of the day, whether it fails or succeeds, that I did everything I could. Yeah. There's not like, I don't want to have any regret of like, oh, I should have done this, or man, I should have done. I did everything I could. I'm going to push it. I'm going to work as hard as I can. I'm going to continue to work. And I mean, I'm already focused on the next one. Like I'm counting this one. Hopefully if it's a success and does what it needed to, and you come to see me because you saw my special, I don't want you to see that same special when you see me.
Right.
So I have at least, at the very minimum, 30 minutes of the next one written. And more than that, I just want to make sure, like, I'm saying what's polished and what I know works, and stuff that didn't make it on this one. I didn't do any of my family material on this. I got 20 minutes on that alone, not including my trans cousin bit. So, I mean, more like 30, so more like 40. But I'm trying to treat this as the way I see professionals do it, and the people that are doing what I want to do, and the people that, I don't want to say idolize, but the people that I'm, like the professionals that are, you see them on Netflix, you see them working clubs all over the country and theaters and stadiums and all that shit. So I'm like, I need to have the next one ready. I don't want to just put this one out and that's all I got.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm fine with, if this goes well, I'll burn all that material and the next one's on its way.
I think you got the right idea. Because there's no reason after this. One, you've proven now that if you want to put your mind to it and get it done, not only can you film the special, but you've proven that you can sell these tickets to a show that people feel like is important to you and special to you, right?
Yeah.
So now that you have these things you can post out there and try to get the engagement you need to, or that you're looking for, I don't think there's any reason you can't try to start moving these tickets in other markets as well,
that's
because you're already performing at these clubs. You're already going out. These clubs already know that you're capable of performing. We're just talking about getting people to come specifically for you.
Yeah, on my night.
But you've done that
Tuesday, Wednesday.
You've done that here. You've shown you can build up an audience to come out and support you. So it's just rinse, repeat now.
Yeah, I think part of the plan too is like hoping it gets enough views to where I can get some sort of representation.
Okay.
Because that helps a lot too. And I know there's a lot of things I can't do that that's just like the last one of the last pieces of the puzzle is I need, I don't know, agent that can help me. Like they know like what to do. They have a plan to blow it up. Just like I talk about how love Ralph, right? Mm-hmm. Ralph's from here, and I've learned a lot from Ralph. I started before Ralph, and I'm still learning from him all the time. Mm-hmm. But I say that Ralph is a perfect example of funny, works hard, writes new material, does the job, is true to self. He is who he is. But I think a big piece of his success also goes to his team knew exactly what to do. It wasn't some agent in a dirty sport coat.
Yeah,
and
we're gonna make you a star.
LeBaron. You're welcome to Hollywood, kid. Hold this cigar.
First thing you need to do is put on a sombrero.
yeah, exactly. And I mean, I think I could use some help, even if it's not like top agent or anything like. I just need somebody who has those connections to these other places. Like, hey, give my guy a Wednesday night at your club in San Francisco or Nebraska or wherever the fuck in the country.
I don't think you're going to have an issue with that. I think it'll just be about being patient, letting this work that you released, giving it time to do its thing.
That's the one thing I don't have is patience.
Yeah, but like I said,
no, I do, but it's just you know how it is when you do a thing. But I mean, I believe in it a lot, so I feel like a lot of this is possible. I just do have to be patient. I mean, we filmed this thing 6 months ago, almost 7 months ago now,
and you're just itching to come on, let's get it out.
Itching for 7 months.
Well, the thing that's brutal about y'all's path in comedy is that. Like it's almost like you're working your way up through a company, right? So those old stories of I started in the mailroom, I'm the CEO now, right?
Fry boy to franchise owner at McDonald's.
And that would have taken somebody 20 years to do that, but now they own it, they're running it, life's good. And y'all's industry is like that. It's just with very unclear steps. There's not I'm going to move into this position now and learn this part of this position.
It's like you're hired to navigate a cave system. And they don't even give you a flashlight.
Yeah.
They're like, your paycheck's at the other end.
Yeah.
Good luck.
And so at your 10-year mark right now, you're at that part where like you're in the middle of the company, you're looking for the path to go, but we don't know, like, are you going to get shot up to this part yet, or is it going to be 5 more years or however long? And because again, there's so many people. I mean, like Nate Bargatze, I think I was talking about him. He's a good example of. Oh wait, am I saying the right guy? Not Nate Bargatze. Oh my gosh, why am I blanking on this guy? He hosted SNL. He's like a country guy.
Shane Gillis?
No, I know Shane. I mean,
Nate Bargatze, I mean, he's hosted SNL.
Is that who I'm thinking of now?
Clean comic.
Yeah. Okay. I thought I got my names mixed up. But he's a great example. Like 20 years in, everyone's like, have you heard of this new guy? It's like, well, no. And he was funny for however long before that. But the payoff where he's at now is so big that it's worth that time, right?
That's the lottery we're all playing here.
Well, but the game it's not a lottery anymore. There are so many people who love comedy now that there can be so many more big players.
But I think that makes it more of a lottery because just since I've started comedy in 10 years, the game has changed. Because when I started, and this was the tail end of this, the plan was for a comic, if you want to be a comic, have a real career, all that, the plan was you get on Tonight Show, Jimmy Fallon, it was Conan, and then from that, you get more popular, you can sell seats, and now they're booking you everywhere, right? And now it's social media. One clip, Matt Rife proved that. All these other people, one clip can go viral. One of your jokes, one joke, a minute-long video of you doing stand-up, no matter how long you've done it, 2 years, 20 years, if that one clip hits 5 million views and everybody likes it, and of course there'll be people that don't, that can give you a career. And I'm glad that none of mine have hit that high yet. I think the highest one I've had was like 230K or something like that on TikTok, and that was like when I had like 500 followers. And even that didn't, it gave me like 1,000 followers.
Right.
But I think that makes it more of a lottery because, I mean, Matt Rife, I say what you will about him, whether you like his comedy or hate it. I was listening to him on a podcast, and he said the clip that blew him up, his first viral clip that millions of views, the one that people started hiring him and giving him a chance, he filmed it, he edited it, and he went to a festival. They didn't want him on. He only got there because they wanted his friend, and his friend's like, well, I'm not doing my show without him. He's the other half of our show. And so they're like, okay, but he's paying for his own hotel. So he said he goes to this festival. He's sleeping on the floor at his friend's hotel room. And he said, he showed his friend the clip. He goes, I don't know. I don't think I should post it. It's not that good or whatever. He goes, I don't know. I don't think people will like it. And his friend goes, you never know, man. Just post it. Fuck it. Just post it. And he said that was the first clip he had that hit like millions of views. And people start paying attention to him. They start hiring him, start giving him chances. So I think it does kind of make it a lottery. I'm not saying just go out there and get lucky. But
but you're
put
not
in the work.
But you're
be
not
ready to back it up when you get that opportunity.
You're also not looking to get lucky though. You're recording things. You're working on your material. You have a plan. That's not luck.
I'm hoping for a little luck, baby.
Sure, you need a little.
Yeah,
you need a little.
Yeah.
But I think the difference is how many people. Excuse me. How many people can go have a viral clip, right? But then if they were approached with those opportunities, they're not able to go do even like a really good feature set yet.
Yeah.
Right? You're at
that happens.
Yeah, but you're at a point now, if you did have a stroke of luck with any of these, if anything took off, you're capable of jumping into a feature or headliner spot just like that.
Take me, baby.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
And so that's the difference in your scenario is that's why I say you got to be patient. It's like, look, just keep working on your craft.
Yeah.
Throw the clips out there. This is the first one under your belt. It's going to, like we said, it's going to do whatever it's going to do.
Yeah.
But you can still control, your set, how funny you're going to be. And when that moment comes, it's going to be like, yeah, I've been sitting here waiting for this. We're ready to go.
Yeah.
We're ready to go.
Yeah.
And so I think,
I'm ready for the call,
I think this
baby.
whole year for you, because especially since you're releasing it, January 1st, it's like, just enjoy the year of like, hell, like, don't forget to enjoy that moment of like, I released it. I did this.
Yeah.
It's out. Have fun putting the clips out. Don't even worry about getting too strategic with it. Like, be a little strategic if that's what you like, but more just think like, fuck yeah, I got this.
Yeah.
I got this thing.
I just want it to be cool. I just
Enjoy
want to do
that
it the way I
moment.
do things,
And now
and
you
yeah.
got a year of relaxing, like just being a comic who's working on material.
Oh, there's no relaxing.
Well, what I mean though is
when it hits, I want to work even harder. I want this. I
Yeah,
want to
but-
show that I'm ready, and I want them to show like you said about Nate Bargatze. Like, have you seen this new guy? And like other people who know how things go know like, well, he's not new, he's been around or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to hit the ground running. So
what I mean by relax though is you're not stressing out about that night anymore.
Oh yeah.
Now you can go
Yeah,
back
I
to
see what
like,
you mean.
I'm just working on funny material, doing my thing, getting this going. Like you get to breathe for a moment before you ramp back up again to doing it another time. Because I mean, I love your idea of there's no reason by this time next year you're not preparing to do another one if you want.
Yeah.
Because I think there's so many people here, you included, that are capable of writing like that. I don't think they've forced themselves to do it yet to prove to themselves. I think they're the only ones doubting that they can do it.
Sometimes your worst enemy is yourself, man. You get in your own way.
Because, I could drop the names, I'm not going to, but we know the names of veterans.
We'll do it off air.
Yeah, we know the names of veterans in this scene
Yeah.
who could have already dropped 2 or 3 hours if they wanted to.
Yeah.
And it's like, let's get y'all moving. Let's show them what, and when I say Dallas, I say Dallas because I live here, but, I mean this entire Metroplex, this whole DFW, Denton, everything around us. There's killers all around here.
Yeah, I want to show the
It's a
country
good
that.
scene,
And I think
man.
I say that all the time.
Yeah.
Dallas breeds killers. We work harder. You can drop me in any scene in the country, any scenario, put me up after somebody who killed, who bombed. I'm just there to do my job and do my thing. When I get on stage, it's my time to do my thing and just to show them who I am and just leave them a little piece of me, however dirty or scummy that is or whatever comes out that night. But I just want to be ready for it. And yeah, I'm excited for this year because since COVID, I mean, things get tough because I'm in a weird transition of, I'll still host. I just hosted a weekend in Oklahoma City like a month ago. I'll still do a host weekend. I don't care. I want to work. I'm hungry, dude.
Yeah.
I want to stay busy. I want to keep writing new stuff. I want to keep getting better just at comedy in general. So I'm ready to go, and I want people to see that because I put a lot of hard work into this.
Yeah.
And not even that I don't want it to go to waste. I want to keep evolving into the next thing.
Yeah.
I don't want to get complacent here. I got to move on. Plus, I just moved my 78-year-old mom in with me, dude.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, I got to get famous and buy this lady a house. I got to get her own place, dude.
We got to do it, man. We got to do it. Speaking of Denton, what's it going to take for somebody to go ahead and get the great comedy club in Denton that it deserves?
Money, man.
Yeah. There's got to be somebody up there who's like a ringleader who can. I thought the Brave Boys for a while were going to lean into that territory, and it just kind of went away. But
kind of sounds like Trump supporters now when you say Brave Boys.
Oh,
which hey, whatever. I don't
the
care.
Brave Boys podcast
Yeah.
was a live show / podcast up in Denton. But no, I've seen like great comedy shows at like Harvest House and places like that.
I've heard people talk about it. There's a good one now that I think they do either 1 or 2 a month. They might be,
but there's no like
but
official spot up there. It's always like at a bar or something.
They have
right?
it's Graffiti Pasta. It used to be JJ's
okay.
Pizza. It's in the
yeah,
basement.
yeah.
I just headlined there last weekend.
So JJ's
weekend before last. It's JJ's gone now. It's got
wow.
bought by someone else called Graffiti Pasta, still pizza.
Yeah, at least it stayed in that lane.
And the basement and the shows are great. I did not this past weekend, but the weekend before I headlined a show there. Saturday nights, they're like, I think the show's at like 10 o'clock, and it was pretty packed in there for me. And it's they do the shows there. But yeah, I think there's so much room for comedy clubs. I think even Houston too has room for another comedy club. I think
I'm shocked at
somebody
how few,
just opened there.
I'm shocked at how few clubs are in Houston because
it's bigger than DFW.
I mean,
and,
yeah,
it's a cultural melting pot. I love doing shows in Houston. I've done the Improv, Secret Group.
I believe the Greater Houston area has, like, officially, like from a censor or whatever, has more diversity than any city in the country. Like, it is the most diverse area.
It's one of the most diverse cities in the country, for sure, if not the planet.
I believe it's number one in the country, though.
Yeah, it's wild. And it's so much fun down there, and there's so much room. I mean, I know there's the Riot, and there's another one just open.
But what's the one that's like kind of run by comments? Is that Secret Group down there?
Group. Oh, I love Secret. Shout out Secret Group. I love that place. I've done like something like 5 or 7 shows in one night in that place.
Okay.
Especially when it's warm out, they used to, I don't know if they still do, so if I'm wrong, don't quote me, but they would do shows up on the roof, then they have a big room, and then they have a small room. And there was a night where I did all 3 of them, and then I did the small room again, and then I did another late show up on the roof. It was something like 5 or 6 shows in one night there. And it's run by the inmates, and it's just an awesome, fun time, man.
Man, I'm just thinking about what was the new name of J&J's?
Graffiti Pasta.
Graffiti Pasta.
Yeah.
I've played shows and bands in that basement before in the past, and it is a special little basement down there.
I can feel the history. We
that could be a really great, like, make that a comedy club.
Yeah, they would.
How many people do you think it'll hold? Yeah, but how many people do you think it'll hold down there?
Maybe 60.
Okay, well, that's a nice little tight room.
But you would have to, like,
you need some.
There's some pillars in the way.
Yeah,
we ran a comedy festival there when I was about 3-4 years in comedy, and that's where we did the bulk of the shows. Was there.
It wouldn't take much to make it a really incredible. I mean, I'm speaking though on behalf of Denton people. They may like leaving it the same exact way it is because they like it to be that kind of.
And there's other spaces that
experience.
It could work in Denton. There's plenty of places it could, and I think there's room for it. But you have to remember, Denton's a 2-college town.
Yeah.
So a lot of times, I feel like I need to, how can I say this? Like, kind of tone down my stories a little bit. I never do, but I feel like I should, because I mean, sometimes I'm a little rough around the edges for some of the college kids.
Yeah, but you know, they're college kids. They're there to experience life.
Yeah, and that's what I think. I'm like, nah, you know what? They're going to experience this after me anyway, so I'm just going to go do what I do here. Let's just show them who I am.
This is another avenue of people that exist, and this is all part of the world. You know?
Yeah, we're shaping the future here.
There you go, man. Yeah, well, I mean, UNT just keeps growing and growing and growing.
Yeah,
that school's just. What's the other one? TWU.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I mean, it's an awesome little place up there. It's crazy. I mean, every time you go, it's just morphing more and more and more. Yeah.
That's growing, except where I live in the hood. That's not growing at all.
I can't remember the name, but there were so many good spots whenever I was like early 20s. There was one spot, I wish I could remember the streets better, but it was only like this little back corner. It faced the school, but it's changed ownership so many times, like different types of dance clubs and bars. It's kind of like a 2-story space. But they had like probably I don't know anymore.
Public house
probably, but it's like on a strip where there was like a little pool hall, and then it was on the corner.
Fry Street.
Yeah, real close.
Okay, yeah, that'd probably be public house.
And I just remember they had like 50-cent wells or something back in the day. I was like, Jesus, just getting loaded.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was a place.
Yeah, it was a good time.
I think RT's another one. They don't do that anymore. I know because I go to there. But
Denton's got such a rich history of how the different bars and stuff have transformed over the years, like the different. Everybody's got their own memory of different bars, you know what I mean? Depending on which generation went through there, I guess. But it's always been a good hang up there.
I have a lot of fun. I mean, it's fine. It's a little further out from everything, so I mean, everything's a drive for me. I'm gonna do that driving anyways, but it's just I can afford to live there. And I travel so much that I can afford a house there, a rent house, to be honest here. And now that my mom lives with me, like that's my only roommate is my mother. Which great source of material, but not ideal as a single man in his 40s trying to chase a dream here.
Well, hey, it's different when she moves in with you instead of you moving in with her.
But it isn't. Because there's no way, and I've tried, there's no way to word it to a woman you're talking to, because all they hear is man in 40s lives with mother. That's all they hear.
Yeah, but you know, if this was like The Notebook or something, they'd be like, he's helping his mother out. What a great guy.
Could you see me in The Notebook?
What a great guy. No.
And the Notebook, I'd be like a tile repairman in the bathroom in The Notebook. Or so. I'd be a body they found in the forest or
You know,
something.
I think it's a good movie, but it's a good movie to shit on too, because if you did any of that in real life, you're a crazy person.
Yeah.
Right. If it's like, I haven't seen you in 10 years, but I built you a home you would love.
Okay.
And it's like, we're going to be on our way now.
Yeah.
Or
That's creepy.
If I hung from the Ferris wheel and was like, I will fall if you don't go out with me right now.
Oh, Jesus.
Right now.
Yeah.
You date me now. They'd be like, get this fucking guy out of here.
I'd be like, sure. And then I'll crush up a bunch of Prozac and put it in their drink. I'm like, I'm dosing them for good.
But when it's in a movie and you're hot Ryan Gosling, it's like, oh, he's so sensitive, so caring.
It's like, have you ever seen those clips online where they take Friends and they take Ross when he's going after Rachel and they get rid of the laugh track and they put creepy music and it's like, oh.
Yeah, I saw the one where he's looking out his window where he accidentally sees her undressing and dancing around.
The one.
Yeah, and they cut it all out and he just looks like a crazy person.
Can I come in? And it's, that's exactly the Notebook. Yeah, the Notebook. That's a creepy. If you change the music in that movie, it's creepy, dude.
Yeah, that's good stuff, man. Well, how long do you think she'll live with you? What's the story there?
How long is she gonna live? I don't know. She's 78. So
78.
She's 78.
How long have the rest of your relatives lived?
Dude, they're all still alive.
Oh, really?
My dad just turned 79. He's still alive.
Okay.
And I don't know. My plan is use a special, get money, buy Nancy a house. That's in the plans.
I like the plan, man. I like the plan.
Get her a nice apartment somewhere and somebody to help her. Because I travel a lot. It is good though because I have a small dog, and my dog loves my mom, and she loves my dog. So I mean, when I travel, because I do, it could be on an instant. Somebody could hit me up today and be like, "Hey, this weekend you want to do Oregon, Portland, Seattle? You want to go all these dates?" And I'd be like, "Sure, I can leave her with my mom and go or whatever." So there's a plus. I do like being able to spend time with my mom being that she's at an older age. Yeah, it's great.
This is one of those things you're gonna end up looking back on it, going like, "What a nice time." You know, like everything seems like a pain here and there, but it is going to be you'll probably enjoy
more here than there. Yeah,
yeah, but
and also the biggest bonus of this is I get to hold this over my older brother and sister's head and be like, "What did you do?
I was the good son.
I'm the fuck up. I'm the black sheep, and I'm taking. What did you?
Yeah, man.
You sent $30. Oh, thanks. Appreciate that. Did you show her how to use GPS in her car?
Is she going to any of the comedy shows with you?
No, my mom's only been to one show ever. She can't really drive at night. My mom's a terrible driver, and she's out there on the road.
You think she'd road trip it with you sometime?
She probably would. She doesn't get around so well. My mom has a walker and stuff, so she probably would if I drove her around. But also, I drive a sports car when she rides with me. She's always. I don't even drive fast. I drive normal. It's not like a big V8 or crazy anything, but still, it's. She would, but she would complain the whole time, and I'm already complaining the whole time. So. Does
she like your material at all?
Yeah, so a few years ago, I think this was before COVID, I was hosting at a club here in Dallas, and she was coming to one of the shows, and she brought a bunch of her work friends.
Oh, God.
And before the show, she tells me, and I'm hosting the show, so you got to do a little bit cleaner of a set. And I actually brought out a lot of people, and I had like 20 people come to see me, the host, that night. And she grabs me, she goes, "All right." I was like, "Just don't sit in the front." She goes, "Okay." She goes, "Hey, be really dirty." And I was like, "Okay." She goes, my coworker said they like dirty jokes, and I'm like, I'm hosting.
They told me to be clean.
So I literally waited for the waitress who I know would tell on me to leave the room, and I did like one of the dirtiest jokes I had. And I was like, and "That's my mom right there, just so y'all know." It was fun.
So is that where you get it from? Does she have that kind of humor?
No, not at all.
No? Why did she tell you to be dirty then?
Who knows?
That's hilarious.
I guess her work friends were like, "Does he do dirty jokes? We like him." But no, she doesn't even. When she first moved in, and I'm in my 40s. I've been taking care of my mom for years. It's not like I just started. I've been like helping her with bills, whatever I can for years now. And when she first moved in, we spent all day, me and my sister and her husband. We like moved her stuff, and it was a pain in the ass. And I was doing something, or I dropped something, or I hit my foot. Something happened, and I cursed. I was like, "Oh, fuck," or whatever. And she goes, "Language." And I was like, "This is my fucking house." I was like, "You watch your damn language." I was like, "Go to your room." I was like, "Get out of here." It's actually really funny. My sister, she passed away. I'm dedicating the special to her, but she used to tell us a story about when she lived with my mom, and she's older than me, so she was an adult, she had a job and stuff, but she lived with my mom. She was like, transition, getting her stuff together or whatever. And they would drive by this same bridge every day when they would like go get something to eat or go somewhere or whatever. And she said that like every day for like a month, my mom would pass the bridge, like, they finally finished that bridge there or something like that.
Yeah.
But every time they'd pass it, my mom would say that, my mom doesn't really curse or anything like that. And then one day my sister just had a bad day and just drove by and goes, huh? And the bridge line, and my sister looks at her, she goes, they built that goddamn bridge 6 months ago, Nancy. Get the fuck over it. Well, I'm just sitting there and she looks at her and goes, fuck you. The only time she's maybe cursed one other time in her life. And my sister said she couldn't even be mad. She laughed so hard. She used to laugh telling us that story.
Dang. Yeah. So you dedicated the special to your sister?
Yeah.
Yeah. May I ask what happened to her?
Cancer. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Hodgkin's lymphoma at life. You know, it
yeah,
sucks.
yeah.
Thank you. It sucks. But yeah, I'm dedicating to her. She was one of my biggest supporters when she was alive. She
How long ago was her passing?
2017, January. So coming up on 7 years. She was one of those, like, would get mad at me when I was younger. I remember she used to get mad that I wouldn't go to college or anything like that. And I remember I was getting something from her house one day and she'd start harping on me again about going to college. I just never, it's not my thing. It's just, I was like, that's going to be a waste of money that I don't fucking have and nobody else is going to pay for it. And so I was like, well, who's going to fucking pay? Are you going to pay my bills while I go to college? Are you going to pay for it? I was like, I don't have the money. Plus, I don't need that. It's not for me. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but it's not that. And like, we didn't talk for like a year or two. She was mad at me because we had this argument about it. But then we started talking again. You know, shit happens. Probably saw each other at a funeral or something. And I started doing comedy, and she was like a real big supporter of that. And she's like, I'm glad you found this. She goes, I think this is where you should be. And she'd always say she's funnier. Clearly she's not. And I remember when the cancer was bad because she would like go into remission. She went into remission and then it came back, which is fucking such a roller coaster.
How long was that whole process? Was it a couple years or
years, man? Yeah. Probably 4 years, 4 or 5 years, and it's up and down. She's in remission. So when it came back, she moved down to Houston to be by a specialty Hodgkin's center down there, a cancer center that specialized in what she had in her treatment. And so I would go down there. I'd take my mom down there and drop her off, spend some time with my sister. I'd come back and then go back down. I was going down to Houston a lot to visit her. And I remember I went down there one of the times. It was probably like 2017. I was like 2 years in the comedy, 2.5 years, something like that. So I went down to see her for a weekend. I ended up getting a bunch of spots. And so I did the shows. And I remember my sister wasn't in the hospital when we got there. And then she had to go to the hospital. It was like constantly. She was in and out. And I remember when I was leaving, I was like, hey, I'm sorry I did these spots. I should have been here spending more time with you. And she grabbed my hand and she goes, you don't have any education. You're too stupid to skip those spots. Do the spots. She goes, that's what you need to do. That's what you're supposed. She goes, if you were sitting here and I knew you had spots, you didn't go do them, I'd be like, get the fuck, go do your spots, idiot. You don't have anything else.
Yeah.
And so that was like, okay, I get it. And she had my stickers all over her house.
That's
and all
awesome.
that stuff.
Older sister?
Yeah, 5 years. 5 years
5 years.
old. So not like super old, but just 5 years.
Yeah, but I mean, it's nice having an older sibling, you know, like even though they're getting on you, you know, you feel like they're just like, get off my back, but really they're still looking out, you know?
Yeah.
It's like they just want to make sure you're doing something that makes you happy.
Well, she didn't want to have to give me money when I got older.
Yeah. Sure.
But yeah, no, it was she was a big supporter, and
that's got to feel good though when they're like, you know, that phrase of, you know, it's like they were saying college because that's just what people say, you know, go college, go do something. But it's got to be so nice to hear, like, I'm glad you found this, you know, found something that you like, that kind of thing. And so that's got to be validating to hear.
She's seen me through all the different ideas where I started a T-shirt and hat company, tried to do music, all the other different things. I've come up with inventions, which there's one I'm still like, how's nobody invented this? Two, actually. Yeah. We're like, how's nobody invented this? Like, this is a money idea.
I mean, that's the way to think, though. I just, you know, I'm at that point in life where it's just not enough hours in the day. All the things I would like to work on, you know, there's not enough hours. I'm
an idea man. Like the plan, it's hard for me to sit down and put it out, but
I want to have that team where I can go, what about this? Yeah. Make it happen.
Yeah. How do we make this and where do we sell it?
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, you know, that's the way you do it, right? You try stuff, fail, and then something, you know, and along the way you're learning a lesson each time, you know?
I mean, you remember, by doing music, I managed rappers and I also tried to be a musician and, don't do any of those anymore.
Yeah. So, Did you enjoy it when you were when you say you were trying to be a musician? What were you trying to do?
All of it, except for
drums. Were you playing in it?
Okay. Guitar, bass. I would record. I'd use like either electronic drums or somebody else's drums. I'd record it and then I'd like mess around with it, write stuff, play stuff over it, record it.
Did you ever release anything?
No. Well, I do have a song on Spotify. I just bought the rights for that. I'm going to put on because I'm planning on putting the special also on Spotify, and I guess I'll probably put this song on the channel. But I did this with, I don't know if you know him, Vincent Augustus. He's a friend of mine, he's a rapper.
Yeah, sounds real serious.
He works
familiar.
at one of the improvs.
Maybe that's
But
why
he's
I know.
also, he's like a legit rapper. He's like, he produces, and he used to have this podcast where we would go on, and the whole podcast was us talking, coming up with a song, and then we would literally make a song on the podcast.
Oh.
And we did 2 of them. One was okay, but this other one I think is really funny and really good. It's called I Can't Read, and I wrote a lot of it, and a lot of the performance of it is 90% of it, I'd say, is my voice doing the song on, and it's on Spotify, but it's called I Can't Read, and it's talking about how, like, you know, it started out with how people always say, oh, the book's better than the movie. I'm like, they didn't spend $1 million blowing shit up in the book, did they? Because it's not worth putting $1 million into a fucking book. But the song is more like, I can't read, but I don't need to because I learned everything on YouTube and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just a fun.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean, I'm always interested when people, I play guitar, and it's always fun to talk to people who want to get into music or did it at all.
Yeah.
I mean, because they know, like, it's so difficult to get good at an instrument.
Yeah.
You know, and then
to get
it's
not
similar to
just
comedy,
good,
finding
like stand out good.
Yeah.
And
it's like comedy where you kind of finding your style is very difficult, you know?
Yeah. And then finding the people that like that style. But I think if you just do enough and keep pushing and keep pushing with the use of the internet, which people, like, I've heard comedians complain about, like TikTok and social media. I like it because if I just keep putting stuff out, eventually my crowd is going to gravitate to me. And those are the people who will buy tickets, come to a show. Yeah. And that's why, like, after a show, I've stopped. I just for now, but I haven't done like shirts or merch that you like is like a product like that you buy. I print a bunch of different stickers, and after the show I take donations, whatever you want to give, because I figure, like, if you don't have a lot of money, I'd still like for you to take have something if you're a fan and you liked it. And I have a sheet that has all my QR codes, and I'm like, I tell them, like, donate whatever you can, be reasonable. I'm not taking your fucking change, but and the thing has like my Venmo and all that, but it also has my website, my TikTok, my Instagram. And I'll tell people, like, hey, you don't have any money, you don't have to avoid eye contact. Come by, scan my code, follow me on Instagram, and I'll give you some free ones. I don't care. And, like, I've had people after show corner be like, you need to charge money, you're worth more. I'm like, hey, I appreciate what you're saying, but I'm trying to.
You're also welcome to give me money.
Yeah, I'm like, I explained to a guy, he goes, you need to set a price. I was like, you just gave me $30 for 2 stickers. That's a terrible fucking deal for you. But you're buying, it's your support that you're paying for, which I appreciate. These people that don't have money now, they're the ones that will follow me online. They'll share my stuff. They'll post it. They'll like it. They'll comment. They'll stimulate the algorithm. There's value in that, too, for what I'm doing. And those are the people that they might not have money now, but when I'm back in town, they'll tell their friends, we should go see that guy. Those are the people, those are like real fans. They're going to be more dedicated because I wasn't just like, oh, you don't have any money? Fuck off.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, fuck that. Like, I've been at things where I wanted like a merch or a memory from the show and I didn't have money. So I'm like, hey, you like, give me a follow. It's free. And here, take some free ones.
Well, we're close in age. You know, do you remember the first time somebody did something like that on a large level when it was like Radiohead put out that free album?
Yeah.
And they said, pay whatever you want.
Yeah.
And, you know, and I think there were literally people paying like thousands of dollars because they're just like, I love the concept.
More money doing that.
Yeah.
I've had weekends. I had a weekend in Arkansas where I brought a box of shirts and I sold every shirt or whatever. And like, it was, I think I took home like $800-900 from that merch alone.
Yeah.
And then like stickers aren't that expensive, and I could even print and cut them myself now. So I mean, I did a weekend with I think a feature for Brendan Schaub or somebody like that, and I set my merch booth up out in the lobby, like way away from him, and I made $600 in profit just from donations on stickers for one weekend. And it was crazy. And people were coming out there and having fun with me. And
let me ask you about your philosophy on merch. I love that you're talking about this because I have some opinions, but I admit that I'm ignorant. So I'm curious.
Admit that too.
Well, there's someone you know who I know as well as a comic, and they want to make merch, and they were reaching out to me like, hey, can you help me make this merch thing? And I was talking to them about, you know, their ideas, like what would you want? And I thought they should have made something with their face on it, right? I liked that idea. And the advice they were getting from other comics, and these were comics who are good comics, it was good advice, you know, they're not just random people. But they were saying like, oh, no, you got to put the joke on you got to put a punchline on the shirt or the koozie or whatever. I don't think, personally, the punchline on the merch is necessarily the end-all, be-all. And I like the idea of like, you know, you're here on stage selling yourself. I don't think there's a problem with just putting your face, your name, something like that, and just make it kind of a fun item for someone to take with. But because I remember even the shirt you gave me way back doesn't have your face on the front pocket. That black and white shirt. Yeah. It's like I love that.
Yeah.
And so like, what is your merch usually like? What do you think works well?
Well, I've evolved.
Yeah, talk to me about the process here.
I did merch way too early. I used to put my face on lighters and hand them out to people like, hey, follow me, give them free lighters or whatever instead of a card because I feel like they'll keep the lighter. You'll throw a card away.
Right.
And I used to put my name and face on everything, but now not so much. I have things that I think are just cool. I don't have a joke about it. It's not my face. A lot of times I don't even put my name on it. And that's why I have my printed out laminated sheet of QR codes because I'm like, follow me now and you can have it now. So that way you don't have to worry about following me later. I think if it's just cool and it's something you feel and something that relates.
What's an example of that though?
Okay, so I have these, I paid an artist to draw up my name in like metal letters, like a metal band.
Oh, yeah,
shirt.
like a metal
But
t-shirt,
also, instead of just my name, I did another sticker with this artist where the sticker just says, "You're gay."
Okay.
I don't have a joke about that or anything, but it's funny. And I don't know, it's just something, because I'll tell people, I've told people before on stage, like, hey, you're gay or whatever. And I don't plan to do that. It's just organic, but it's just a cool thing. People look at it and it says in metal letters, they have to like really, they're like, oh, and they're like, I'm going to give this to my son or I'm going to put this in this to mess with people. And it was just an idea I had. I was just high and I was like, oh, you're gay, whatever. I almost named my special You're Gay, just fuck with people. But I don't think it has to be your face or
the way
something.
I look at it, I don't think it has to be the face. This person they had like some headshots that were kind of interesting and I felt like they weren't really using them. I was like, well, this would be kind of fun.
I mean, if you have something funny or cool organically, it works like that. Yeah, do it. Do whatever. There's no rules. If it makes sense or if it's funny or it's something that you can make it work and you believe in it or you like it, then yeah.
Because I don't think someone's going to. If I made a T-shirt with a punchline, right? I don't necessarily, and I could be wrong. I don't necessarily believe someone like a stranger is going to read your shirt and go, "Oh, that's funny." And then they go, "Oh, it's this comic." They're thinking they're going to read the joke, remember me, go to shows. Like, I don't think it works that way.
Not anymore. Yeah.
Whereas I was like,
if it's just cool, and that's why,
I think if it's just interesting, and they're like, "Oh, we got it at this comedy show."
Yeah.
And I think that's all that really matters.
The shirt I gave you with just my face, but it looks like the pocket.
Yes.
There's no pocket.
Yes.
That's why people are like, you got to do a punchline. I was like, I want to. This is dumb because I like to buy merch from people when I'll go see shows and like I saw a show recently where this guy had this hat that looked like an old Marlboro hat.
Yeah.
But instead of Marlboro, it said "fuck off."
Yeah.
And I was like, that's cool. That's just something I would wear. So my idea, like if I make like hats or merch, I try to make something that somebody would look at and be like, oh, that's cool. Like they would just wear it, not just because they went to a show, just not because it says your dad's gay or whatever.
Yeah, because I don't think people are buying. I think the days of those like funny shirts at Hot Topic, I just feel like they're gone.
There's a few that still, I have one.
I think it's got to be so good though.
There was one I bought, I wore it to one show and then I got burrito on it, so I had to throw it away. I need to order another one. But it just simply said, "Don't bully me, I'll come." And I was like, that's hilarious. And like, it was a great shirt.
That's a pretty solid one,
and
though.
There was one other I had to take back because I was too fat for it and they didn't have it in 2X. I only had 1X and I tried, but it was a picture of a hot cowgirl and it's a little out there, but it said, "Sorry, boys, I like pussy." And I was like, that's an awesome shirt. But like, other than that, it's got to be like something like that, like a punchline from a stand-up joke, unless it's really good.
Well, and also it seems like the punchline, if I try to explain to someone your punchline
you're gonna fuck
at work Monday,
no,
it's not going to hit, and it just looks like a silly... And I get why a comic does it, right? It makes sense. Like in the moment,
it's his thing.
In the moment when you're at the club, you're drinking, and you heard the punchline, it's hilarious. But I wonder, does that shirt end up just sitting in the closet because they feel like, I don't.
And see, I thought of that, and like,
but I don't know.
I'm always tinkering with ideas. And I was like, well, maybe like on the back, just somewhere, I should put a QR code to the joke, like that leads to like my YouTube where that joke is. So if somebody's like, "Oh, what is that?" They just scan it and do it. But then again, I'm like, they're not gonna. Somebody
how many shirts do you wear?
Shirt.
Yeah,
get out.
Yeah, I think you're better off just putting like a tasteful, like a small like Mikey B somewhere, like on the back of the collar or something.
And there's some I don't have anything like. There's stickers I don't have that. I'm gonna have other stickers too. Like there's one that just says "I'm trash" and it's a dumpster on fire. I used to right after COVID when clubs were opening back up, like 3 days after COVID here.
Yeah,
I had these wristbands, the like Live
like
Strong,
the slap bracelets. The rubber ones.
Rubber ones.
Yeah,
I had a ton of them made, and they were reversible. So one side said "vaxxed and waxed," and I would tell people, be responsible. If you're not going to get vaxxed, at least get waxed. And you flip it inside out, and the other side just said "I'm trash." And everybody loved the "I'm trash" side way more, and they're like, "I want an "I'm trash" bracelet. I want an "I'm trash" bracelet." So.
Okay.
But then I do have stuff that does go to jokes. Like I have a this joke didn't go on the special, but I had this joke with just talking about aliens, and the sticker just says "We come in peace," and it's a glow in the dark, and only the cum glows in the dark.
Sure.
And it's a picture of an alien.
But you can get that without even hearing the joke.
Exactly.
You know that
and
can
I was like,
just
that's organic.
work.
That's just a standalone. And it's funny. That weekend I was telling you, I was with Shab, I made all that money from stickers.
Yeah.
I pitched that sticker on stage, and there's been clubs that have asked me not to pitch that sticker. This club, they don't care. They were cool. As long as I don't ruin the show, they don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I caught your cough.
Sorry.
After the show, I'm set up by the manager's office, and she still talks about this because I've worked this club like 10, 15 times, and she always brings this up. But after the shows, I'd be out there with my stickers, and I'd have a line of people. It was just a great weekend. And I'd have women come out there and be like, "Where's that cum, Mikey B? We want your cum." And the manager comes out of her office after like 5 times. She goes, "What the fuck is going on in here?"
Y'all saying?
I literally had women fighting each other. Not over the stickers. That's a whole other thing happening in line. But it was crazy. They're all out here yelling about cum and fighting. She goes, "What are you doing to these women?" I was like, "I'm just standing here.
I'm just being me."
And she's like, "I like the sticker," but she's like, "Please don't cause any more fights." I was like, "It's not my fault."
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's such a. I've learned that it's such a money-making opportunity for y'all that it's foolish to kind of not have merch.
It can be, and there's other nights where you stand there feeling terrible next to your merch.
Yeah.
And I've said that to crowds when my set just goes okay. I'm like, yeah, I have merch. I feel like I'll just be standing by it tonight, but that's cool. That's where I'm at if you want to send a shot over.
But you got to take that shot, right?
You got to shoot a shot.
Yeah, you got to shoot a shot.
You can't shoot shit if you don't shoot your shot. And I can't believe I didn't stutter saying that. Just now.
So we were talking about your older sister. Are you a middle child? Is your brother older also?
I'm the youngest. Yeah.
Youngest. Okay. Yeah. What about him? I had this idea in my mind. I want y'all as a family to sit down and watch this special together, and you just gauge reactions real time.
My other sister.
How many siblings do you have?
So I have. Okay, first off, I'm going to tell you this is a mess.
Okay, all right.
My dad's Mexican. My mom's white.
Okay.
And in total, my parents both had a son before they met each other. So I have a full white brother and a full Mexican brother that are my half brothers. And then my parents got together and they had 4 kids. 2 girls, 2 boys. So I have a full brother who's half Mexican and a half brother that's full Mexican, and then one that's full white. Full white passed. And then I have my 2 sisters. One passed. And my other sister, she came to the special. She was there at the taping. She brought her husband, and like her brother-in-laws were there too, which I'm friends with. They're just friends of mine. So they came to the show. So she's seen it. My brother has seen videos. He lives down in San Antonio and or outside of it. He hasn't been to a show yet, but I'm sure if I do one around, he will. He's just, life.
Yeah.
Which I never give people shit if you can't make it out to a show, even when people are like, "Hey, I'm going to be there," and they don't show up. I'm never the guy that's like, "Hey, you weren't here." It's life. I get it. People invite me to things, and I'm like, "Oh, I don't want to go to that." So I'm like, I get it. When people, if you're just nice to me and whatever, like, "Oh yeah, I'll be there," whatever. It's my job is to tell people, you come, you don't come. But my brother, he loves my stand up. He'll call me. He called me recently. I was pulling up to a club like on a Friday night to do spots. And he called me and he's like, "Hey, can you send me a few clips? I'm with my in-laws. I want to show them some of your dirtier stuff." I'm like, "Okay." Just remember what you're asking for here.
Right.
And
oh my gosh. I had one friend, I found my limit. He threw me in a group text of just absolutely disgusting things. And I thought I could hang.
Yeah.
And it just went to some dark places. And I was like, I'm not on your level. I'm not there, man. Yeah.
I'm the guy in the group that I'll just like, I get mad that you'll put me, because I'm in so many group chats already or group texts that I'm like, all right, I'm going to make them push me out then. I'm going to show them why why they don't want me here.
Yeah.
But or I'll just mute the thing and just kind of, I'll check in every now and again. But.
Yeah, dude. I'm getting old and grumpy. If you put me in a group chat, it better be for a really good reason.
If it's unsolicited and you just throw me, especially a group text, a group. If it's something you don't have me on Facebook, so you got to put me in a group text. That's why I don't have you on Facebook.
Yeah. But that's the way it goes. I just peace out on them. I just throw them like, "Hey, I don't want to be here." Peace sign. Fail, and then they get upset. I'll get a separate text later, like, "What was that?"
It's like you got off the bus at the wrong stop in Oakland. It's like, "Oh, I'm not supposed to be here, dude. I gotta go."
Yeah. How? So about your special a little more. I'm so curious about how did you decide how you wanted to film it, how you wanted it to look? Those are tough choices, you know.
Yeah, I just want to look good, and the guy I went with.
But what's your version of looking good? Like, were you looking at other people's recordings? Were you looking for inspiration from anything?
That, and I mean, I kind of wanted something that felt my own. So we did it at the Improv, which I appreciate. They've let me do so many things there.
This is the
live podcast,
Addison
Improv. Mm-hmm. I did a live podcast there. That I think we're going to be back there doing some more of those. They loved it. It was fun, and they've let me do like Mikey B and Friends a few times. Mm-hmm. It's basically my home club. I love the Addison Improv, and but they had me cover the Improv sign because there's like, yeah, you can film it here, but it's like it's not
they
like
can't say we officially did this.
Yeah, you're not like sponsored by us. So it's not like we're filming it and producing it. So you got to cover the sign. And so I was like, all right. So I had some artwork made. And it's got my name and the name of the special, but also it's got like spacemen floating around and giant mushrooms.
When I saw like the lights on stage that you had too, didn't you have some standalone lighting up there as well?
Yeah. That was all the guy that my director and editor. He.
So what direction did you give him? Of like, hey,
make it good.
Just make it. So you kind of gave him free reign.
I put a lot of trust into him. He does a lot of good work. He films for a lot of bigger people that I like and respect. And
so he's already filmed comedy.
Oh, he
knows what he's doing.
Filming right now. He films for Ralph a lot and stuff. And he does great work. And I kind of just put all that up to. We had a few meetings before, and we just discussed like what we wanted and didn't want. Like we didn't want to do an intro, and like my idea behind that, and he agreed was like, nobody knows who I am. Nobody cares how I got here. Nobody cares about any of that. Let's show them why they should. Just get
the
that's
joke.
Why instead of an intro, I'm starting on a joke. And like rolls in from laughter right into a joke, and I get a pop in 6 seconds.
Sure.
And that's just from there's no editing on the joke. The joke was literally just cut, placed here, and in the first 6 seconds, there's a big pop. And then there's another, and there's another, and the punchline's big and all that stuff. And it's a fun, dirty joke. So we sat down and discussed, but I put a lot of that in his hands. He did, I think, 7 cameras, shot it like in 5K. It'll be released in 4K because nobody really watches 5K anyways. But I put a lot of that into him, and I asked him, and
what was his? Did he lay out a vision for you of like, hey, here's what I'm thinking?
Sorta. Yeah. I mean, he told me how many cameras you want to do, what angles you want to get, and all that. And I was like, dude, I'm gonna have to trust you on this. I've seen your work. I know it's good. And we brought it. I mean, it wasn't just him. We had 3 other camera operators there, and a couple standalones too.
Yeah.
2 or 3 standalones, and he was literally in the back. We filmed it like television. So from filming one, you do 7 cameras, that's 700 hours of editing going through this. Oh, okay, actually we want this angle here, we want this angle here. So what he did was he got a switchboard and hooked all the cameras up to it, the moving ones, this one this guy had, the one on this stand over here. And as I'm filming the special, he's switching angles in the back. He had like 2 screens set up, all the cameras, and he's live switching the feeds just like we're filming a multicam sitcom.
Yeah.
But he still has access to all those angles to go in and edit. Like, actually, let's go to wide angle on this one. Let's go up close right or camera 3 on this one or whatever. And he was explaining that to me, and I was like, sounds like you know what you're doing. I was like, I'm going to trust you.
Yeah.
I was like, you've been filming comedy. We talked a lot about like comedy theory and stuff we like, and we agreed on a lot of things. And ultimately, I was like, you know what? All I can do is my job. This is his job. Yeah. So I can tell you what I want and don't want. And other than that, I have to put trust into your hands, and paid off because I think it looks.
What were some of the things you wanted, like your must-haves?
Just a crowd. For me, that's all that really mattered to me, is that it wasn't like bad footage. Just make sure the audio had to be good, lighting had to be right, and I just wanted it to all look good. I didn't want it to look janky. I didn't want any, this angle is a little blurry or this or that. I just wanted everything just to look crystal clear, and I just wanted to be concise, look good, framed in right, all that. I just want to look like a real thing. I've got tons of janky videos on my website or on my social media already. So.
Well, and you already knew before the experience, but now going through it, one kind of the curses of, I really loved working with Lawrence's things, but I plan on doing more. I think I've got 2 opportunities in 2025 to work with some people, and so I'm pretty excited about that. But it's like I think people have a skewed perception of just how hard it is to do what you were talking about, of getting these quality angles and really putting all this front end work, as that producer to make it look good.
Yeah.
Because people will like message me like, hey, I'm wondering if you're free, next Saturday, looking to do something real simple, just like 4 cameras and like audio.
Real simple, 4 cameras, which is an oxymoron.
Yeah, and it's like, hey, if you want to work together on something, let's talk about it. But
something like that's not next week.
Yeah, but I think because so many people throw up a camera at the back of the room for their clips, they think, oh, it's no big deal. We'll just throw up a couple cameras. And it's like, it's a process. It's a whole thing. If you want it to look
lighting,
good,
you got to check sound. You got to do, and I mean,
dude, just lighting alone, just color matching things. So when you're switching clips,
I was there at 2 o'clock show day. He was there setting up. We went through the lighting because the Improv has new lighting now.
Oh yeah,
and just their standard is it's blue around. The lighting is like blue, but there's the big spotlight that's the main center of the stage.
Okay.
And I filmed in there since I got the new lighting and the blue. I was like, that's not going to work. So we got there early, and he was like, no, let's switch this. And he was back there switching it. And we got the lighting where he wanted it. He brought those extra lights, which I didn't know he was going to. I had no idea, but it was stressful. And the fact too that we talked about earlier is I had one shot. And for those of you listening, if you don't know this, when you do a comedy special, it's usually minimum 2 shows, but usually 4 shows. They wear the same outfit. They splice together the best pieces. So you make sure, this joke bombed on this show, but it worked on this show. We'll cut it. We'll put it here. Whatever issues may happen. I had one shot to do it all, and I was already overwhelmed with that and just wanting to make sure that there was a crowd there. The show was good. Yeah, I didn't go up there and bomb or have an off night. I went up there and just did what I always do. So a lot of that, he took the pressure off just like from hearing him talk and meeting with him in person. And we sat and talked about even just comedy in general and what we both enjoy and what we like about comedy, what we don't like about comedy and comedy specials. And so like he gained my trust and faith, which he already had a lot of it. And so I kind of I left it up to his hands. I was like, all I can do is what I do.
Yeah.
He's the best option I'm going to be able to get at the level I'm at for like him doing me a million favors and give me a price on it, which if you'll ask me, you pay him if you use him. He's not giving you what he gave me. He probably won't do this for anybody ever again because this has been
that's nice, man.
A long ride. But yeah, he liked me. He'd filmed me before, and he was like, after talking to him about it, he goes, "I want to help you." He goes, "You wouldn't be able to afford this for what I want to do," because I was like, we were talking prices. And I was like, yeah, maybe like 4 cameras or whatever. And he goes, no, I want to do 7. I was like, well, dude, remember budget or whatever.
Right.
He told me the price. I was like, yeah, how about 1 camera? I got a new iPhone. And he goes, no. He goes, well, you pay the fees for like whatever we have to rent. You take care of the guys and me when we're there, and we'll work out the rest. So I was like,
well, and hopefully.
And I've told him a million times I'm appreciative, but I know it's a lot of work, and I get it.
Well, but some people, he sounds like a great guy, obviously, but some people get it too. It's like, look, hopefully this does everything we want it to do, and you grow. And when you do the next one, you've got a budget that you can pay what he would like to charge for. Yeah. And it comes back all, full circle.
And it helps his resume because he's like, it's not like he's been doing it 30 years, but he's also, he's already really good. Yeah. I'm sure this guy will be filming for Netflix and other people soon.
That's good.
And so this helps his resume. So, that also motivates him to make this look good and to put everything we can into it to do the best job.
And sometimes it's fun just to make something cool, right? Sometimes it's fun just to make something.
I just want to do something cool, man. I've told people like, I just want it to be something that I would like, not something like, we were going to pitch it to Tubi and Hulu, and like Tubi didn't want to give a lot of money, and I think they want to control over like editing and stuff like that, or they would want that, but it also wouldn't be a lot of money, and I think they were even like, from what he had a contact that had mentioned that like, the being this late in the year or whatever, they're not going to give any money, and I was just like, why don't you do it myself? And like Hulu, he talked to someone at Hulu and said their 2025 calendar is already set.
Yeah.
Which is basically saying no, or, we'll take it, we'll put it out in a couple of years or whatever. And I was like, I already did a cool thing. Let's just do it cool. Let's just put it on my channel. It's for me to gain things anyways.
Yeah.
I don't care if I make any money from it. It'd be great if it hit like a few million views and I got some money. But even if not, if I got the followers from that and I can start like actually having a real career and selling tickets, that's my goal. That's what I want.
I was going to say, you don't need any of that yet. What you're doing now is building, and you don't want to do anything with those companies until you have much more bargaining power anyway, because you don't need anybody controlling what you're doing at the moment.
I don't ever.
That's what I'm saying.
That, yeah.
So you might as well do it all on your own. Excuse me. Do it on your own. Release the way you want to. Edit it exactly the way you want to. So any potential new fans are getting what you believe is the best of that work right now, rather than what you don't want somebody else's opinion on how to edit this, and they don't know.
Yeah,
you know,
or
they don't know.
We don't know about this joke or whatever, or whatever. I don't care.
Do it your way.
Because that's how I'm going to do it live.
Build your fan base.
I want them to see what I do, and if they come see me live, that their expectations are met, and they're like, "Man, that was so worth it."
Yeah,
I don't want them to see it and then show up thinking I do things a certain way or things are one way, and leave the show like he's a lot dirtier than I thought, or this. Or
right.
No, I want people to like what I do, so I'm putting it out there for those people, and hopefully it gravitates them in. And
well, it's what we were talking about earlier.
Build.
You don't want to release this and think, oh, we compromised on this just because I thought I could get it on Tubi. You know, you don't want to do that.
Nah.
You don't want to do that because Tubi's not going to blow you up. You know, it's just not going to do that for you.
No.
The original.
It's also later on. It's a punchline. Like, you remember the one you did on Tubi? Yeah. No offense, Tubi, if you're going to give me money later.
No, but I mean,
it's not Netflix. It's not Hulu. It's not.
You know, I had Peyton Payne on here, and she was talking about how much she loved Tubi. I was like, what do you love about it? And she's like, when one movie ends, it just plays another one. I was like, so you just like that you're so high you don't have to pick a movie;
Sounds
it just
like
keeps
socialism,
rolling,
dude. You'll have sandwich now.
Yeah, but you know, I mean, point being, it's like build all your stuff. You know how to do it. Now that you have this material to release, that's going to be this high quality stuff. It's a great plan. I wouldn't worry about somebody else doing anything like that for you at the moment.
Yeah, and I think the way to go for the future too, like if it's feasible, film it yourself. Do it the way you want, have it done the way you want, and then try to sell it to somebody.
Sure.
And then I think a lot of these guys do that. And if they don't want it, if this does its job, then I'll put it on my YouTube channel and I'll just get all the money.
Yep.
And then more followers, more ticket sales. Now I'm doing theaters or this. Build, just evolve.
Yeah. There's people out there right now showing how much that's not needed, like
Schultz.
Yeah.
Whether you like him or not, look at his career. I mean,
he doesn't need it.
Yeah.
800-pound Gorilla, they do a great work.
Yeah, they do.
They do great work.
Oh,
and then
good friend of mine, hilarious comic, Billy D. Washington. He did a special with 800-pound Gorilla. Billy D's he's given me some of the best comedy advice when I was a newer comic. He's been one of the best dudes. It's so cool. And that dude is so funny, and he's one of the guys that's like astounding to me that he's not bigger than he is. Not a diss on him at all.
I know what you mean.
Because, I mean, he works consistently. He makes money.
When you say bigger, you mean like
household name.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, he's not more known.
I think there's a lot of people like that.
A lot of people run that cusp, and, I mean, that's why I say it's kind of a lottery. You're going to pop. It's like riding a wave.
Yeah, and you just don't know.
Yeah.
Right? You really don't know. And there's someone here locally who's like kind of a legend, and I would drop the name, but I don't want them to feel like I'm saying something negative because I'm saying something positive. But you guys would all know who it is instantly. But where you just wonder, like, man, that talent is there. They've put in the time. They've got the reputation. What is it? What is it that didn't do that for them? You know, and
I know who it is, and I could probably tell you.
Will they? You know, in the next 3 or 4 years, would something like I was writing an article about it, but every time I was writing it, you know, about like this gem in our scene who it just came across as real accidentally negative, like, you know, why are they stuck here or something? It's like, I don't mean it that way. I don't mean it like that. It's just, you just want to see the talented people have the success they deserve, but there's no way to force that, which is so frustrating, you know?
It's really up to the people.
Because you're like, I know that I can drop this person in any club in the nation and they're going to kill, you know? And they've got kind of their own unique thing that they're doing, but it's just not the way it works.
And that's what I'm working towards is Paul. This whole thing that I did was Paul Verzi's idea. I've worked with him quite a few times, and he's one of the best dudes I've met just in life in general. And he told me to put together a body of work, and he's like, just record something, an album, whatever. And he even said, like, when he told me, he goes, if it's good and you follow through, I'll help you with it. I'll promote, share something, whatever you need. But this was all his idea, and I mean the thing he kept telling me over and over, like we'd have a few drinks after the show or smoke a cigar or whatever, and he would tell me just become undeniably funny. Yeah. All your bitches, your complaints, this place doesn't book you, this person, why is this person there? Doesn't matter, because when you're undeniably funny, it's undeniable. They can't deny you're funny. They can try to take things away from you or talk shit. But it doesn't matter, because you can drop in anywhere and you'll go up and murder and do your fucking thing, and that's the job. Just do that. Work towards that, and the rest will fall into place as you get there when you get there.
Well, this is the first step to it, man.
That's what I feel.
Like I said, I think you're at that point where you've put in like your 10 years. You know what you're doing now. Now all you're doing is polishing your craft whichever way you want to,
Yeah, just trying to get
just writing
better
jokes
and better.
yeah.
Cut it. I mean, I've watched this so many times. I've rewritten some of these jokes. I'm like, joke's about to go away anyways. But I mean, and I've done longer sets since. I mean, obviously it's been like 7 months, so I'll still use a joke or two from here and there. But I try to, when I do, like, let's say if I'm doing like a feature, like 20, 30 minutes, there'll be a couple of these jokes in there, and then all the new stuff or this or that. So I've been peppering them in here and there. But if it comes out and it's a hit, it's a success, and does what we want it to, then those have to go. I'll maybe pepper in one in a longer set, but it's got to be new stuff.
Yeah. Well, you'll feel it out. I mean, you'll know if a crowd's there who is watching you for the first time, or if it's people who saw that and came out. Yeah,
and if they have, either way, in my mind, I've got to have the mindset of like, they've seen this, don't do the new stuff. Yeah. And make it, if you don't think it's as good, then make it as good. That's your job. You're writing.
That's exciting, man.
Better, yeah.
You got me hyped about watching it.
Dude, I hope so. I hope people listen to this, and people I talk to about, I hope they're hyped to see it too. I hope everybody checks it out, and give me a share. Help your boy out. Comments on something. Share it. Put it on your story. Tell somebody about it, whatever.
It'll be fun to see which clip takes off, right? Because it's never the one you think. It's like what you're talking about, Matt, right?
Yeah.
You say if any, something's
got to. I mean, this thing's, with editing and everything, I think it's about 50 to 55 minutes, somewhere in there. I'd have to check the numbers because we're doing the outro and all that stuff. And he's doing so. I don't want to tell you what it is because I want you to experience it.
I want to experience
it. Something really cool for the end, at the end of it. But I wanted an hour long. I wanted to do at least an hour. And I could, at the improv, they have the clock facing the stage, so you know how much. They just let mine run to count up. I asked for that so I can know where I'm at. And I got to about 53-ish minutes, 54 minutes, and I did the last joke that I closed on, and I had that one more ready to go that would have put me over an hour, but I was like, nah, cut it. It's not going to top what you just did. Just cut it here. Put the mic up, and I did. Like I said, first standing ovation, and I got real dumb with it. Didn't know what to do. I was like, should I leave stage? Should I be cool and just walk off? Or should I start bowing to everyone? What should I do? And I'll let you see what happens.
You bow a full 90 degrees at the waist. Full.
And then I turn into powder and die.
Yeah, man. I'm pumped about it. I think, I don't know, it'll be exciting to see a year from now what happens with it all.
I might be back here begging people to still watch it.
No, man, you know what you're doing now. Now it's just a matter of, like I said, it's that weird spot for y'all. And this is my perception. I could be way off. You know, like you said, these people that you're talking to, like Paul Verzi, they are more knowledgeable than me on this. But as a fan, it seems like you've just hit that tier now where it's like, okay, you put in a decade of solid work. Let's put in another decade.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's just, like you said, that's the job. You write jokes, you make them funny, you go perform, and then it just starts lining up slowly. And then, you
can't hold on to it too tight. I think, like you were saying earlier, we know plenty of guys that, like, nothing against them, but they're not putting out clips. They're not really hitting the road a lot. They're not doing, and not that I know what the fuck, have the absolute answer. Nobody can give you that, but they're not, I feel like a lot of them are holding on to that material too tight. And it's like, this is my hour or whatever. It's like, okay, well, use what it's for now. Like, get everything out of it. Don't just sit on it forever and keep doing it. I mean, let's be honest. We all get bored of saying the same jokes or whatever.
Yeah,
it gets boring sometimes. It can, but still, I mean, when a crowd hasn't heard it and they hear that joke for the first time, it amps me back up. I'm like, that's why it's a good joke. But also, I don't want to hold on to it forever. I want to have new experiences. I want to do new things. I want to delve down into new subjects and new pathways. And a lot of what I do now, and you'll see from the special, I love jokey jokes. I love just jokes set up, punchline, something wacky or stupid or something from left field. But I also love doing personal stories. And I mean, I'd say that the special is probably a good half and half of that. Like maybe even a little more of its personal stories. But I mean, that's not something somebody can ever take from me. You know what I mean, like, one of the first joke I'm going to release was the first good joke, like the first clip. Most likely, I'm 99% sure this is the first one I'm going to clip out and post before the special's out. But it's the first good joke I wrote, and it's been stolen from me. I don't know how many times I've seen a meme online. People have sent it to me when I was newer in comic. You know, you're real tight with your comic buddies, and we're all just fighting for spots. Or like, your joke's on Twitter, so this person has it, or this person took it, and they made their version on a meme. And I've literally, Liam Neeson, tracked these people down. I'm like, that's my joke. I have recorded. I wrote that 3 years ago. Take it down.
Yeah.
You're going to fuck me over. You're going to fuck. And I was
Do they take it down?
No. One did, because I was like obsessed. The first one. After that, I had to, like, I was like, I put it out there in the world. I put it on the internet. This is what the internet does. I have to let go. My job is to write another one, then write another one, and write another. That's the job I signed up for. If I'm holding on to this that tight, that means I'm too scared to make another one or grab onto the next one. So I kind of just have to let it go, man. I have to let them. That's what it was for, right? I mean, I want to be funny. Let them all laugh at it, whether they took it from me or not. My credit will come back. All these people can verify, oh, my friend wrote that joke 4 years ago, 5, 6, whatever.
Yeah.
So
and it is an interesting thing of just keep writing, keep getting better. Because did you see that interview where Jay Leno was talking to Elon Musk about building rockets and stuff, and he's asking him, he's talking about, oh, this rocket made from this and that, and he's like, oh, you guys patent your own thing, and he goes, no, we don't patent anything. He goes, patents are for the weak. It's like, damn.
And it's kind of savage,
but it's kind of like that, where it's like, make the joke, do your thing. People are going to copy it. There's not much you can do here and there. You know what I mean? But but if you just do it the way you want to, people will go, well, no, that was his.
Yeah.
And the truth kind of works its way eventually. But,
and I mean, really, I put it out there. If it's funny, people, if you want to equate it to that, whatever. Did you enjoy it though?
I mean, you shouldn't steal jokes, but I'm just saying it seems like, in the age of memes and the internet, it's inevitable that if it's a good punchline, it's going to work.
Once you post something, the internet's got them now. That's what it is.
So many people using that elder millennial thing. Have you heard of that? Talking about how, like, if you're at the upper end of a millennial, you're an elder millennial, and people would be like,
"That's me,"
making skits about all that, and that all came from Eliza Schlesinger's special, Elder Millennial.
Yeah,
it's like, but nobody's crediting her with that anymore. Now it's just in the ethos of that's a thing people say.
There's people saying that and using that don't even know who she
exactly.
is.
And
it's like, well, now you got to evolve with it. I mean,
you just got to roll with it.
You want to be a comedian, then be a comedian. Write comedians write jokes, write more material. That's what it is. And I mean, I have jokes and stuff that come up just in conversation. That's where most of my writing gets done, is me talking to like you or other comics, and I brainstorm. I'll remember a story. I've gotten better at like taking my phone, put down a note real quick, or remember this for later, and work on it from there. But I mean, that's the job. Like, that's right. That's what you do.
I hope some of these people that you've worked with in the past, I hope they do you a solid and share the stuff out there as well.
A lot of them said they have, and hopefully that it kind of speaks for itself. So once it gets out there a little bit, then it trickles and snowballs and just gets bigger. But hopefully everybody said they were going to help. I mean, there's not just him. A lot of other people said they were going to help and they'll share and this and that. And I'm so appreciative of anybody that lends a hand.
I think they will.
And I think even if they don't at first, once they see what it's doing, they're like, that's pretty good. I actually like this. I just want to share it.
Let the work stand on its own.
I put everything I could into this, and I think it's, like I said, only thing I'm ever proud of. And you know me, I'm super critical of everything I've ever done. I'll get off stage sometimes and just be hard on myself. Like, no, it was great. And I'm like, no, but I fucked this joke up. But that's the point of it. I don't want to get off stage and be like, I killed. You sound, just stop. You sound douchey.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah. It was fun. It was actually, once I got into the show and like kind of calmed down and like got into the set, it was a fun night. It really was.
Who worked with you that night?
I had Crux Crawford was on the show. He hosted. They had Paul Smith feature.
Yeah.
My friend from Oklahoma City, Adrian Corwin, did a guest spot, and I also gave a guest spot to Chris Germany. And it was a good show.
Did you say Adrian Corwin?
Yes.
Are they related to Wes Corwin at all?
No.
Oh, okay. Just coincidence.
But they know each other.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
But no, not.
Okay.
Not related.
And Crux Crawford, man, that's somebody I've been trying to watch more of.
I love Crux.
I've only caught him a couple times, but my schedule never lines up with whenever he's got shows going on. It sucks.
He's a good dude. Him and Paul Smith, those are my boys. We work together.
I've been harping on Paul Smith hard.
Have you?
Yeah, because and I've told him in person, but I feel like he's at this unique spot in his life with his medical condition. And I don't want to say too much to the audience because I don't want to ruin what.
Yeah.
But I was like, man, if you don't get something out of this.
Oh, he does.
I know, but he needs to make I told him, I was like, before you get this fixed, you need to have a whole thing and then record something, send it off. Just about it's just it's gold. It's such a unique moment.
Speaking of what you're saying, there's something in my special I don't want to ruin for you, but I was like, got to use this now because it's not going to be here forever.
Okay, all right, yeah.
You'll see it.
I'm excited, man.
Yeah. But I those are my boys. Like if this takes off, I mean, and if I had to pick bring an opener or a couple guys to open, that's Paul and Crux probably be the guys that'd be like, hey, you guys want to do the show with me or whatever? Those are that's one of the group chats I didn't leave where I'm like, all right, I'll stay in this. And those good dudes, they're funny, they work hard too, and they're good at comedy. So and just good friends of mine, just good dudes.
Yeah, it's makes it when I was working with Lawrence, it's it was kind of a hard pick of who do you want on the show with you because It's like you want them to warm up the crowd, but you also want people to just make you feel comfortable.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, those are my guys, so I'm used to working with them a lot, and they're both good. And I think what I would do is let them decide who goes first and who goes in the middle, or have them alternate. And instead of calling one a host or feature, we'll just piggyback, bring people up. But I'm one of those people, though, like the way I was trained and brought up, I don't know. Do you know who Butch Lord is?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
I don't know him well, but I saw him around all the time.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
But no, I love Butch, but I understand Butch. But Butch used to do those Butch Lord showcases.
Yep. I've been to
30
several
comics,
of those.
all trying to bring their bringers. He'd have 30 bringers, new comics, and he would always tell me, like, once I had done a few and like started getting good at comedy or better, I'd take him on the road, or like he'd take me, but I'm driving, so whatever. But he would tell me, any of my showcases, if you're around, you want to do it, show up. I'll put you up after whoever bombs the hardest or kills the hardest. And I'd be like, after who bombs, that sucks. But I realized, no, it doesn't. It doesn't at all. And even after who kills, it doesn't matter to me. So I'm to the point where I'm like I've done shows with other guys where I was the headliner. Like, oh, do you have anything you want me to avoid or do? I'm like, no, just do your thing. Don't ruin the show. But if you do, I'll do my job. Just like, don't purposely go up there and do trans hate material or something like that.
Yeah.
That's my opener. So don't do that. But no, I tell people, I'm just like, it is what it is. But yeah, I wanted my guys there. Those are my guys. It was my special night. And it was good having them around for the support and all that, even though I'm like, tell me I suck. Tell me I'm trash. Tell me I'm no good.
Hopefully they already knew your methods, so they were primed and ready to go.
Yeah. When someone
tripping you as you're walking out there.
It's the same when someone doesn't know, because I'm like, oh, no, man, you're great. I'm like, no, it's just a thing. Just say you suck. They'd be like, you're trash. I hate you. You just quit comedy. I'm like, that's a lot. That's too much.
I just said, say you suck.
You suck. That's it. That's all you. They're like, oh, okay, you suck. I'm like, cool, thanks.
Maybe that's your next shirt.
Yeah. I've worked on a few things for You Suck. I don't know. I think.
Yeah.
You remember Yo MTV Raps?
Yes, I do.
I think stickers that look like those, but just say You Suck.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. That was a thought I had. I was just an idea.
Dude, the comedy merch is, like I said, I'm really interested in it because I have my opinions, but I also don't sell merch. So.
I just like making like stickers and hats and T-shirts. It was something I wanted to do for a long time and make stuff. That was like not even just stuff like with my name or face on it, just something that looks cool.
Yeah.
And I do have a few shirts that I came up with, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to wear that. The shirt I wore on my special was a shirt I bought from a guy during the eclipse who was like selling the eclipse T-shirts, but he had his designs there too. And he's a local guy in the Denton area who that's what he does. He's a screen printer, and I mean he also has his own designs, and he'll do custom work. And he was doing like eclipse shirts. And I saw one. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I was like, can you make that one? He goes, yeah, I got it set up here. And I bought it. And when we did the special, I brought like 8 different outfit ideas to show the director because he wanted options to make sure it looked good on camera, didn't mess with lights. He told me no pinstripes, which was good because I did have like 3 pinstripe shirts I was thinking about.
Yeah.
So I wore the shirt I'm wearing during my special. I showed up just wearing it because I came in like 6 hours for the show. I had to be there at 2 for like sound check, light check, all that stuff. And so I showed him all the options. He goes, what you have on? And I was like, this is a T-shirt, dude. And he's like, nah, that's going to look the best. And I was like,
yeah,
you're the boss. Sure, whatever.
Yeah.
Like
all the little things you don't think about that make a difference, you know?
And see, I did think about it because I had all these options. I brought like 9 pairs of shoes. I brought like 4 pairs of pants. I brought all these shirts. But I'm so neurotic that I'm like, I'm just going to bring it all. And I brought like a whole closet.
Yeah.
And he was like, the one you have on is going to look the best with the lighting.
What you put on today, your gut instinct. That's perfect.
I was like, all right.
That's awesome. Well, tell me what the title is one more time.
Honorable Scumbag.
Honorable Scumbag. Are you pretty sure it's January 1st?
I'm definite, dude. That's
all right.
99.9. As long as he's done with the editing, which I just have to give my final okay. He's got to finish up a couple things. And I'm pretty sure as long as I have it done in the next 2 weeks, I'll probably cut some clips.
Yeah.
Probably release one the week of Christmas, maybe at the end of the week before. I think Christmas is like a Wednesday or something this year. But definitely after Christmas, I'll have at least a clip up.
Yeah.
I want to make like not a sizzle reel, but like a preview, like my own version of a trailer kind of thing. And I've been telling everybody January 1st, and now it's recorded. So.
It's going to be great, man. And like you said, everybody's going to go out, have a good time New Year's Eve. Then on January 1st, when you want to kick it at home, you can just turn it on.
Don't turn the volume down if you want. I don't care.
No, turn the volume up.
Give me the play.
You're going to set it up as like you're going to premiere it at like a certain time?
I think so. I think I'm going to release it in the morning, though. So like afternoon. That way you have, I'm thinking, I haven't decided on this. I still have a few people that are helping me with the marketing. So I have to bring this up to them. I was taking notes today on this, but I'm thinking like 9, 10 a.m. in the morning. Not too early because nobody's gonna watch it at 6.
Right.
Put on a comedy special at fucking 6 a.m.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking like somewhere around 10, 11 a.m. or something like that. People start waking up. You're like getting your coffee, getting some hungover food. Put the special on. It's not something you have to think about or anything like that. It's just a comedy special, and I think that's a good end. New Year's Day, a lot of people are off work.
Yeah,
something to do.
Absolutely.
You're going right back. It's not like you're going right back out or like going out on the lake like 4th of July. It's New Year's Day.
Well, you're nursing that hangover. Have a laugh.
My kind of crowd, and I just try to think about like the people I see that talk, not like what I want to like me, but the people I talk to after the show and the people that come up and talk to me and buy me a drink or buy my merch or like want a picture. I'm like, these people are going to be hungover. They're going to be at home New Year's Day. They're going to pop this on. That's what I want.
Do you think are you gonna work a show somewhere New Year's Eve?
I don't have one booked as of now, so I'll probably just show my ass on a bottle of tequila.
There you go.
Like I normally do. But actually, no, there's somebody. I take that back. Check at Mikey B the comic. Check my Instagram. I might be somewhere New Year's Eve.
Come on, man. You got to do something. Yeah. That's kind of like your last little. Do a show, celebrate right before that thing comes out.
I would love to. I think I have an offer in. I don't know. I think somebody messaged me. I think I have to message them back. But also, I've done New Year's almost every year. New Year's Eve kind of sucks. It's not that fun.
Well, at the very least, you need to go out with some friends and celebrate the achievement of sending this thing off.
I'll be with friends for sure.
Absolutely, dude.
If I'm not on stage, I'll definitely be drinking somewhere and celebrating.
Yeah.
Hopefully together with like my closest friends. That's what I would like to do if they're not working also or on stage. But yeah, I think we're going to set up as a release, do like a launch party and all that. So we were thinking about maybe even doing like a launch party the night before, like it's New Year's Eve. It's already a reason to party. And
yeah, I mean, you could either do it then or, any of that's good.
I just don't want to release. I was thinking like I should do 1201 first special of the year, but I'm like, who's going to watch it?
No, I wouldn't do that.
Not 1201.
I think January 1st, you got it down just perfect.
Yeah.
Just decide morning, evening, whatever you want to do. But yeah, definitely have a party like just to celebrate, just to kind of really close it off of like, it's done. We did it. This thing's there.
Succeed or fail, it's done and it's out. It's the world's about to have it. And they're either going to run with it or throw it back in my face.
Feels good to be living like that though, doesn't it?
Fuck it. This is what it's about, man. This is what I got into it for, and I love doing it. And I mean, whether this fails or succeeds, I'll keep working and going. And if it fails, then I have this material to rewrite. And if it succeeds, then I have more material to.
It's not going to fail. We're going to stop talking about that. All right, you suck, but it's not going to fail.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thanks, man.
Dude, thanks for making the trip down. You're welcome back anytime. Just hit me up whenever. Hey, and
thanks for having me, man.
Of course, man. Super excited to watch it.
Yeah. Also, wait, before we get out of here, y'all, my social media, at Mikey B the comic, all platforms. It's whatever. I'm not on X right now. Whole thing. And also check out my podcast. It's at the Open Mic Podcast, all platforms. We've got hundreds of clips out. I think we're at like
y'all been running for a hot minute
now. Yeah. More live shows coming soon. Everybody had a great time at the last one. Half the crowd. We did at the Improv the night before. I did a show with double the crowd. And the manager came up to me right after we finished the live podcast. He goes, "You had half the crowd, but you had double the noise in here." I fucking loved it. We're going to do more. So at the Open Mic Podcast, MIKE, or at Mikey B the Comic.
There it is. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
The I'm a Fan of podcast, music, comedy, and more.